thinking, punk. Question is, can I get Wolverine before he turns me into shish kebab with those claws? Bob, seeing as how these claws are adamantium, the strongest metal known, and can slice through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter, buddy, you gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky?
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. We're continuing the Wolverine Origin miniseries. This is from 2002. We are at Origin number 5 of 6. After we are done with Origin, the first part, we will go with the second part, which is a different creative team of writer and artist. So this is done by Paul Jenkins and Andy Kubert. The colors are by the one and only Richard Isanove, who I think is one of the best colorists, period. Digital, real, whatever. His view, how he sees it, how he colors things is in freaking credible. My goodness gracious. So, all right. So, we have the Canadian Rockies. Now, one of the things of the new era, which I think started in the mid '90s with writers like Warren Ellis and Grant Morrison, is that they don't fill in any blanks. So if you miss issue 1 or anything else, you've got no idea what's going on. So we are in Canada. These are the Canadian Rockies. Unfortunately, they don't tell you. They don't give you a date. They don't give you nothing. You are just given the information, then you're supposed to retain it. That I do not like. So we see some feet here. We assume that these are Wolverine, and he is hunting a little rabbit here, and so. And then here it's reading you a poem, and these are the wolves that Wolverine befriended at the end of the previous issue. So it is not a rabbit, it is a deer. So, and off they go. Great double page spread here. Normally I'm critical on the double page spreads because sometimes I think that they don't need to do double page spreads on some things, but in this it is really, really good. This is penciled. There are no inks, and these are colored directly by Richard Isanove over the pencils. So, beautiful. And so, we got Wolverine here, and then we assume that this is Rose here. What's the hammer? What's the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? Reading the poem that we started with, the tiger thing, but here's the deer like, oh shit, I'm about to get eaten. And she continues reading the poem, and the wolves are there, and Wolverine catches the deer, and here come the wolves, and Wolverine kills the deer and lets the animals eat. So this is life, people. It is kill or be killed, unfortunately. So Wolverine watches on as the wolves eat. And so Rose here says, it's a beautiful poem, Smitty. It makes me think of Logan. Where did it come from? And Smitty here says, it's by an old English poem named William Blake. I picked it up on my travels back when I was a sailor. We was docked at Southampton at the time. Me and some lads went up to London for a day, and I found that book in an old curio shop of off Fleet Street. And she says, that sounds awfully exciting, Smitty. Here, And thanks, he says. So you can see here that feelings are starting to be developed, and then opens the door, and here comes Wolverine. Who is not Wolverine at this time, of course? We are in the late 1800s. We're about 10 years away or so from the 19th hundreds, so the 20th century. So we're in the 19th century heading toward the 20th century. And so Smitty says, hello, lad. Me and your cousin were just visiting for a while till you came by. Shift foreman tells me your crew finished over quota again. I wanted to talk to you about that. And Wolverine's like, so talk. Uh, Logan, Mr. Smith's been kind enough to bring by some books he picked up from his days at sea. Isn't that kind of him? And Smitty says, well, look, I really came by to see you, lad. Clean yourself up and get some rest tonight. I'll want you to take the morning off tomorrow and come meet me on the hill by the new seam. And he says, what for? And Smitty says, I got a job for you. So, I like the all pencil. Uh, it, a lot of people do use this nowadays. Ken Rockefort, I believe is his name. I know that he had a run on Superman. It was all done in pencils, so I really do enjoy it. Because it's just so different. So, all right, and the way digital comics, or sorry, digital well, yeah, comics nowadays are done. You can pretty much just pencil and go straight to coloring. So, but it doesn't give it that comic book feelish, but it does for an event really do works well. So, all right, so here's Missy. Up you came, lad. I got a little surprise for you. I take it you heard about Roddy Finnegan blew his bleeding fingers off last week. The daft old sod. Since he's gone blind, I'll need to train someone with more than 2 ounces of sense to work the dynamite. It'd be uh, uh, I figured it'd be you if you shape up. And so he continues. It ain't too hard, but most of my lads ain't got enough smarts to be careful enough. It's a highly misunderstood explosive. It's dynamite. Um, you see, you place it like this, fuse up. If you can, you find a seam and the blast lets the weight do the rest. Okay, I got it. How long is the fuse? Exactly 1 minute as he takes off. So, oh God. And so here comes Wolverine. Come on, lad, hurry, hurry. And he is. And so they hide behind this thing. All of a sudden, ba-boom. And he's like laughing here. There you go, young Logan. Any questions? And then the two of them laugh together. So, all right. And so elsewhere, this is Logan's big bully here, and they're playing poker, I would imagine. So, all right. And so they're accusing now Cookie the cook of cheating here. And he's like, "What? Trying to say I'm cheating, Cookie. I'll have your guts for a quarter." Sorry, he's accusing him of cheating. Sorry. I didn't mean it, Fred. You know what I was saying. So Cookie's a coward, but he picks on Logan because he believes Logan to be much weaker. I have a playlist, by the way, with the origin in there if you're so inclined, if you missed anything. Yeah, well, you better unsay it. Hey, ain't that Logan kid with Smitty? And so you can see that they're having a good time here, or like they're developing a friendship here. Tell you what, Cookie, that kid turned out to be all right, a hard worker. That's one of the best I ever seen with a shovel. He's a digger, all right. He's like, you ever seen one of them Wolverines going up at a root? They never give up till they got it. That's what that kid is. He's a Wolverine. So that's pretty cool that they bring up the name. What, that little shrimp? He's a waste of skin. I'd snap him like a bloomin' twig. Is that so? Well, that boy's worth 10 of you, fat toss spot. In fact, I see you moping around that cookhouse for hours on end, Cookie, but when was the last time anyone saw you pull your weight up around here? He can't pull up his weight. He's too bloody heavy. Steady on, boys. They make fun of him because of his weight, but he ain't worth it, Bert. Let's go catch up with them too, So they leave Cookie, which of course makes him even more angry toward Logan here. So Rose is writing on her diary. Logan's become a new man. Make no mistake, not just in name, but also in nature. He seems so at ease here in the camp. It's a wonder we didn't find our way here sooner. I often fancy he remembers nothing of the terrible events that preceded our arrival here. These people are his family now. Some of the boys have nicknamed him Little Smitty. And so, telling jokes here, and look at, the cook just all alone as everybody goes toward Wolverine. I'm so proud of my cousin, she says in quotation, of course, they're not. All of the men speak so highly of him. If only they knew where he came from. He's become such a fine, steady young man. A leader by example, so much like his dear father. But there's a side of him that remains a mystery. For days he'll lose himself on the mountains. I never inquire, but I'm certain I know where he goes. And so here's the wolves, and so he is hanging out with the wolves. He goes to be with his other self, the piece of him that he kept hidden since that last night on the Howlett estate. There's a dreadful creature inside that boy, just waiting to show its face to the world. So Smitty goes, "Penny for your thoughts, young Logan." And he goes, nothing. It's nothing important, Smitty. I was just thinking. And this guy's like, he's probably thinking about old Cookie, them two best pals. Yeah, they're right. They're in love, right, Cookie? Hey, where'd he go? So Cookie is no longer there. And so Cookie's going to go find the dynamite. Look at this. He is one bad man. You little runt. You come out here out of the blue sky and steal away my mates. And so Smitty says, you're going to handle all the charges from now on, are you? Well, we'll see how you handle this. And he cuts it in half. So instead of a minute, he's going to have 30 seconds. Or who knows? He probably cut it so that he only gets a few. And look at him smile here. So here they are. And there's a thunderstorm going on. And this guy's running toward the cabin. There, see? If you look at the bottom line on the ledger, it says we're turning a better profit now at any time since you took over. I'll tell you something, lass. You've been nothing but a godsend to this quarry, and that's the best news I've heard all year. Why, thank you, good sir. And so, Smitty, honest to God, Nobby, you old washerwoman, what is it this time? Up at the rock face, there's been a cave-in, so off they go here. You can see this here, and they're trying to dig everybody out here. This was supposed to be your watch, Tom. What the devil happened? They went in with the dynamite, and it went off before we could clear. Poor blighters never stood a chance. This is a right terrible tragedy, Smitty. Can I help? You can grab a shovel and start digging, Cookie. I need a second tunnel in from the inside. Fred, Logan's in there. Is there any way? I mean, it don't look good, Rose. And so she's very concerned here. Of course, nobody knows at this moment in time. I mean, she knows about the claws and the healing, but she figures, he can still be killed like everybody else, All right, so they're digging out here. Smitty, you got to come back down for a while. Take a rest. You ain't got to be no good to anyone. Soaked half to death out here. And so he goes, you see them over there? That's 5 good men I lost today, and I ain't stopping till I find the rest who's missing. I got a promise to keep. So, come on, Smitty. This is bloody useless, and you know it. Soon that scene went, them poor buggers were gone. So he's like, "No, I ain't losing any more of my men. You hear me? You already lost them, Smitty," says the other guy. So, and come on, boss, you can't do more tonight. And they're like, "Hey, over here. We heard a noise under that barrel. Sounded like a voice. Might be an animal." "Well, don't just stand there squawking. Get up." And so they pull it up and they go, "Well, I'll be." And it's Logan who saved another person here, a young person. Um, and so, damnedest thing I ever saw. You don't need me to tell you that was some kind of miracle out there last night, Logan. Matthew Fowler's wife lost her husband in that slide. She wanted me to thank you that she didn't lose her son as well. "Here you go, lad. This is for you." And he goes, "What is it?" "More of them old books of mine. Something to pass the time while you mend up. I brought this one from Nagasaki, Japan. It's a manuscript about samurai fighters from the old days. It'll tell you, them little Japanese scoundrels are pretty swift. I see one of them bring down a tree trunk with his bare fist. Look at this. This eagle is about to eat this rabbit as they... This is very... this reminds me of 100 Bullets, the series by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Rizzo. And he would tell the story, but there was like... Azzarello would add these types of panels of something else going on while the two people were speaking. So it was very cool here. So you should have died last night. I don't know how you saved that boy, and I ain't ever gonna pry. But whatever it is about you, son, you need to know it don't make no difference to me one way or the other. Understand? Anyway, I gotta get back to the aquarium. Miss Rose, can I talk? Can I ask you to walk with me for a few minutes? And so off they go here, and he is looking at the samurai. And of course, you can see here that this dude is really smitten by Rose. So, all right, so at the cabin here. Well, this is then Silver, is it? Find anything you like, bub? And he goes, "You're a monster, Cookie. 5 men are dead, and while everyone's down at the funeral, you're digging through their lifelong possessions for scraps." And Cookie's like, "Just breathe a word of this, knucklehead, and you'll be the next funeral." And so they ain't gonna believe your word over mine. I'll shut your mouth for good, huh? And he misses, of course, because this is a different one. Wolverine hits him there, and you can see a crunch. And Cookie screams, and just hits him again and hits him again. Okay, I'll fess up, I promise. You're finished here, you fat tub of dirt. You mark me well, 'cause I never been serious. I see your ugly face in mine ever again, and you're a dead man. And so, Cookie runs away. "Rose, I gotta talk to you. You're never gonna guess what happened, Rose." And then he sees them kissing here, which must break his heart, because I think he had feelings for her. And so off he runs. He goes, "Rose, oh, Jesus, no." And he takes off his claws, and of course this one's growling, and Wolverine's in the mood. So we're going to have a fight here, which of course we know poor Wolverine's going to win it. So this poor wolf, and so he does not kill him, but he does win it, and he howls very good with the moon here. So, and so we are almost over. So we are back at the mansion where the series first began. Again, I have a playlist. Love the colors. I'm telling you, Richard Isanov is an incredible colorist. "I made a terrible mistake," says the grandfather. "I should never have let him go. I've allowed myself to be blinded by the fear of what happened to his brother." And so he's sitting at his deathbed and coughs here. "All I know is that he and that Irish girl purchased a train ticket to British Columbia. The police were supposed to have kept records as I asked. Please, there's not much time. My body's gone and my mind will soon follow. I beg you with all your heart, undo my foolish mistake. Will you find him? Will you promise to find my grandson, James?" he says. And, of course, I promise, sir, I'll hunt him to the ends of the earth like a dog. Which, of course, this is the grown-up dog, as you remember from the beginning of the series. And, of course, you can guess who he is just by looking at him. But he still has the scars, so is it maybe? I don't know. So, all right, Wolverine, the origin, number 5 of 6. So we've got one more issue to go of this first volume. Oh, that is awesome here. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Oh, by the way, this was by Paul Jenkins and Andy Kubert with colors by Richard Isonoff. Goodbye.